What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Clark Griswold YouTube channel, and I am Mr. Clark Griswold. So thank you guys for being here today. Welcome. Happy to have you guys here. Listen, if you're new to this channel, new to the Strat, you're new to trading, or you're struggling with trading, or struggling with the Strat, this channel and what we teach and this strategy is going to change the way that you guys trade in the stock market. But the very first thing I need you guys to do is go down below and hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell. That bell is the most important part. That will send you out notifications for when I send out the videos just like this one every single day. This is our weekly swing list for August 29th, the week of. And let me tell you, there's not a lot of plays on here. So just like on the daily, and I talked about it, we went and sniffed out a bunch of other plays on the 2-week, which there are a ton, and they're all basically 2-ups that finished red. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. If you're on Twitter, I'm also on Twitter there. You can find me there. You can follow me there at Mr. Clark Griswold. If you have questions, you can tweet at me. You can DM me. I'm on there all the time. You can also do the same thing down below. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up. If you think the videos suck, give me a thumbs down. But let me know why they suck so I can fix them just for you guys. And then, as always, everything that I do have to offer, talk about, is in the Discord, okay? So the link for the Discord is in the description below. Go join that Discord. I send out setups on there. And everything that I offer, whether it's free or fee-based, is available on there. It's broken down for you guys what is offered. Everything you need to do what we're doing here can be found in that Discord, okay? And then two things right quick before we get started here, guys. Number one, this platform, this screen that you see, this is TradingView. So if you're this is how I chart everything that I do. So if you're looking for something like this, there's a link in the description below. You can click on that link and you'll get a free 30-day subscription to their TradingView's paid subscription. You'll get that free for 30 days. You just need to click on that link. And then if you decide to use one of those paid subscriptions, you get up to $30 off of that subscription. But you need to start by clicking in that link in the description down below. And then the last thing we're going to talk about here real quick, guys, is the ads. I know they suck. Nobody likes watching them. They're annoying. But those ads pay to keep this stuff free for you guys, so I don't have to charge you for it. Okay, so I'm asking you in advance, and I'm thanking you in advance for letting those ads roll through. Go get a drink, go get a snack, and we can let these things roll through. And let those advertisers pay for your guys' education, okay? So I thank you in advance. Let the ads roll through, and then we can get started on this watch list. Okay, let's get started on this list. Like I said, the 1-week swings, there's not a lot there. I've got 5. Okay, but after those 5, we are going to slip through and we're going to go look at the 2-week charts. I had to go look at the 2 weeks on both the daily and the weekly because that's where all the setups were. And we can mark those out and still follow them off of the daily. Basically, on the daily, we had a bunch of outside bars. So on the 2-day chart, the triggers are the bottoms of those outside bars. So we'll see how the weekly ends up here as we go through. And the other thing I'll talk to you guys a bit about as we go through is the Griswold Strat indicator that I've created for you guys on TradingView. It's an all-in-one stop shop for all indicators for the Strat. So we have this time frame continuity. We've got the candlestick numbers. It paints the inside bars yellow for you, the outside bars white. It highlights the 3-1 setups in gold, the double inside bars in blue. Okay, and then it also has Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rules indicators for the day, the week, and the month. Okay, so that's a $25 one-time fee. You pay it, you get that indicator for life. If we edit it or add stuff to it, there is no additional fees. It's just that one-time fee, $25, and you have an all-in-one stop shop for all Strat indicators. Okay, so let's get started on this list. Airbnb. Okay, so when we go through this, you'll notice, just so we run through this and you guys know what these lines all mean, the blue is the monthly triggers. The yellow is usually the daily triggers, but I put dotted yellows for the 2 days. And then the pink are the weekly triggers, but I've done dotted pink for the 2-week triggers. Now, when I'm taking options on these 2 weeks, on a week, I'll get 2 weeks out when I play swing plays. If I'm looking at a 2-week swing play, a 2-week option, I'm probably getting 3 to 4 weeks out is what I'd be looking. And I'd probably play it at 3. You can play it at 4, but we'll go through it as we go. Okay, so the first one we've got is Airbnb. So Airbnb had a 2 down that finished green, but we have this inverse hammer, which is a bearish pattern, okay, or a shooter candle. We have this big body at the bottom with this big long wick. So on Airbnb, essentially what I'm looking for here is a 1-2-2 continuation. Now, if we go to the 2-week, the 2-week has an inside bar. So if I move this, I didn't even put it on there, but if I move this, we have that inside bar break as well, the same as we would on the weekly. So our trigger is the same whether we're looking at the week or the 2-week. So on the 2-week, we have an inside bar. On the 1 week, we've got a continuation already, okay? So puts at 109.97 is the trigger. And the strike price I'd be taking on that, I'm probably looking, the 108 range is probably where I'm looking, somewhere there. Maybe 107, maybe 109. So one of those 3 strikes is probably what I'll be taking. If we go to play this on the 2-week off of the inside bar, it excuse me, it doesn't really change. I'm probably still looking at that 109, 108, 107 range, okay? So that's on Airbnb. AR, this isn't something I normally play because these spreads are not great on it, okay? But we have a 2-up that finished red, inverse hammer, shooter candle. We can look for puts at 41.75. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Now, Ford is a little interesting because we've got these 2-day setups on Ford. Okay, so Ford had a 2-up, finished red, shooter candle. But then we go to the weekly, and we've got this shooter candle again, okay, to the downside. But then we go to the 2-week, and then we have a 2-up that finished red. So again, even bearish sentiment across the board for the most part on a lot of the plays. So this is what we're looking at here on Ford. We're looking for puts at 14.91, whether we're looking at the 2-week or we're looking at the week, okay? It's the same thing. 14.91 is our trigger to go short on Ford. Now, NEO, if we go to the weekly, had a 2 down that finished green. So this one, we're going to look to go in the opposite direction. We're going to look to take NEO to the upside. And we've already got it marked out there. Let me delete that. With calls at 21.26. And if we go to the 2-week, again, the 2-week shows us here that we're at a bottom of this broadening formation. Now, I don't know how clear that is. I don't know where I drew that one. It must have been on the weekly, or I'm guessing the daily. So there it is. It's on the daily chart. And we've got, again, these higher highs to these lower lows to higher highs. Hit the high again, back to the low. We're looking to tag the top of this broadening formation at some point. Just a matter of where we're hitting it. Because on the daily, we have a 2-up that finished red. So a little bit of conflict there between the day and the week. Okay, and then the last one on the daily, or on the 1 weeks, before we hop over to look at the 2-week stuff, is Walmart. So I saw somebody on Twitter, one of the Stratters, posted the only setup he found was Walmart, the inside bar. And again, there is not a lot of plays here, guys, so that's why we went out and we looked at the 2-day charts and we looked at the 2-week charts. Okay, so again, 2 days, it's a 2-day play, or you could take it as a 1-day play. It doesn't matter. You can still play it as a 1-day play as long as we're hitting that trigger and we're hitting targets and taking profit at targets. So on this 1 week on Walmart, okay, puts at 31.60, calls at 136.83. Sorry, 131.51 is the put trigger, and 136.83 is the call trigger on this. But again, we are at the top of a broadening formation. Low to a high, to a low, to a high. We'll see where Walmart comes out. But then we go to the 2 week, and we do have this on the 2 week as well, with puts at 131.36, okay? So puts there on the 2 week as well on Walmart. Okay, so let's switch over to the 2 week, and I'm going to go through these fairly fast because there's a bunch of them, and I don't want you guys to have to sit here all day watching this stuff. But if you have questions on it, feel free to ask me on the Discord, ask down below. I will get back to you guys. Let's see. So, American Airlines, 2 up, finished red, top of a broadening formation. Puts, there's our dotted pink line for the weekly. There's our dotted line for the 2-day chart, okay? So if we trigger on the day, we are triggering on the week, no doubt. Puts at 13.59. Apple, 2 up, finished red. Not quite a hammer candle, but it's pretty close. We can look for puts on this thing at 163.56. I know that line is hard to see because the monthly is there, but there it is right there. You can see it. Next up, Airbnb. Airbnb with a inside bar. So let's talk about inside bars for the people who are new. So inside bars, guys, they don't break the high. They do not break the low of the previous candle. They stay within the range of the previous candle. So this inside bar didn't break the high, didn't break the low. And when you have the Griswold Strat indicator, it paints the inside bars yellow for you. They're very, very easy to spot. And so when you see these yellow bars, I want you guys to think of a spring being compacted and loaded and tightened. And when that thing releases and you let it go, it explodes to one direction or the other. And we just have to go back to look at the last one that happened on Airbnb, and you can see we triggered and we hit targets and we had a really, really nice run. Okay, so we're going to look for the same thing on Airbnb next week. And again, I didn't even put triggers to the top side for this. I've only put them to the bottom. So we're going to look for puts at 109.97. You can look for calls on this. That's okay too, but I'm going to look for Airbnb to trend down next week. Okay, AMC. AMC also has an inside bar. So we just talked about them. You guys know about the inside bars. We can take puts at 8.96. This is a red candle, so we closed way down here. That's a long way for this thing to come all the way back up. Now, it's got 2 weeks to do it, but that's a $7 run. That's almost 100% run for us to get back up into this range. If we want to come back up to this range here, this $17 from this 9, like, you're close to 100%. That's probably not happening in the next 2 weeks. So I would look for a downtrend again on AMC to hit the bottom of this broadening formation. That's what I would look for. Okay, so BAC, 2 up, finished red. We're going to look for puts on this thing at $34.03. Bed Bath & Beyond, big inverse hammer shooter candle here. Puts at 8.45, and you can see we've got an inside bar on BBY on the day, on the 2-day right here. So again, we have time frame continuity to the upside, but if we trend to the downside, this is going to go red, this is going to go red, this is going to go red, because Monday, these 3 have not opened yet, so we don't know what they're going to be. We'll see what happens. And then the other thing is, if we're looking at this as a swing play in a 3-week play, in 3 days, this monthly is brand new, okay? So we switch on the monthly as well. That's going to have an effect on how this stuff plays out also. CCL Carnival Cruise Lines, 2 up, finished red. We're looking for a 1-2-2 reversal. Rev Strat, 9.35 puts. CL, Colgate Palmolive, 2 up, finished red. Big shooter candle. So we're going to look for puts at 79.10. Time frame continuity, again, outside of that month, which is going to change possibly in 3 days. Full time frame continuity to the downside. And we can look at this saying, you know, lows to highs to lows, back to highs, possibly back down to lows. And this is a different, I'm guessing, again, that's off of the daily, but broadening formations, guys. D-Dog, Datadog, inside bars. Calls 117.90, puts $100, 28 cents, top of this broadening formation. Disney 2 up, finished red. We're going to look for puts. I said a lot of bearish sentiment in the market coming into next week, and that doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be. Okay, I'd love for me to be right on that and say yes, that's what it is, but I'm just reading what the candlesticks are telling me. Okay, the candlesticks are showing us a story and telling us a story. What the next page of that story is, we'll find out, but we're making a prediction on probability that that the market's going to continue to trend down. So we go on to the next one. That's Cisco. Cisco Systems, 2 up. This is a big inverse hammer. Shooter candle. Puts at 45.88. Again, top of a broadening formation. DraftKings, DKNG, 2 up. Finish red. We're going to look for puts on this thing at $16.37. Etsy, 2 up. Finish red. We've got to play on the 2-day. We've also got to play on the 2-week here. Puts at 102.52. If we trigger on the day at 103.52, we're triggering on the 2-week at 102.52 on Etsy. Ford, we went through on the weekly already. 2 up, finish red. We're going to look for puts at 14.91, same as on the weekly. And then our daily trigger to the downside is at 15.41. Fubo, big inverse hammer, shooter candle. Just that big body with that extremely long wick. We're going to look for puts on this thing at $3.59. GE, General Electric, 2 up, finish red, puts at 74.36. Goldman Sachs, 2 up, finish red, puts at 3.36. And again, hourly, daily, weekly, if we trend down, are going to be red. That month flips in 3 days, or has a new month in 3 days. So we'll see how it plays out, okay? And then when does that quarterly flips when? July, August, September. So October is when the quarterly flips. Go back to the 2-week here, and we'll move into IBM. IBM, shooter candle, full time frame to the downside right across the board. That month is still stuck on an inside bar on IB. So is it possible that we get down to 125 off of that? Well, we got 3 days to get there. 125. It's possible. It's possible that we break that inside month. If not, you know it'll be on our quarterly swing plays that will be out midweek. IBM, 2 up, finish red, full time frame continuity to the downside. That's the way we're going to look to play it. IWM, 2 up, finish red, puts 188.66. Keurig Dr. Pepper, 2. I don't even need to look at these guys. I already know they're all 2 up reds or inside bars. So inverse hammer, shooter candle, time frame continuity, puts 38.58. Coca-Cola, 2 up, finish red, inverse hammer, shooter candle, time frame continuity, down, puts 62.98. Lift, there it is, inside bar. Okay, calls at 1985. Puts at 14.97. We've got it marked out. I know it's hard to see with those lines, but there it is, 14. Actually, I don't even have it marked out. Let's copy this one. We'll clone it. And we'll mark it there. Okay, 14.84 is where we're taking the puts on lift 2-week plays. Next up, Macy's, 2 up, finish red. We'll call that a shooter candle or inverse hammer. We're taking puts at $18.19. MS, Morgan Stanley, 2 up, finish red. We're going to take puts on this one at 86.81. Sorry, that's 86.72 on Morgan Stanley. Netflix, 2 up, finish red. 2 up, finish red. Puts at 223.15. Procter & Gamble, 2 up red. 2 up red. There we go. Like I said, guys, there is so much bearish sentiment in the market that I just know what everything is a 2 red. 2 up red on the 2-week. That's just what it is. Okay? So we can look for puts at 142.02. Pinterest, pins, has a daily play. It's also got a 2-week play. Inside bar on Pinterest. Okay, so calls at 24.12. Puts at $20.39. There is our daily trigger. So again, if we go to the daily, it's a 2 up finished red on the daily as well. So we're looking for that to trigger on the day on Pinterest. Plug Power, 2 up red. We'll look for puts at 25.47. PayPal, 2 up red. We'll look for puts at 92.38. There's our marker if that's what you're looking for, okay? And there's our 2-day marker. And that 92.70 is where we closed on the day on Friday. Starbucks, 2 up, finish red. We're going to look for puts. Time frame continuity is showing us down. 83.96 is where the puts are. Uber, there's that inside bar. The last inside bar on Uber, trigger, target, and a little more. We're going to look for puts on Uber at 27.75. We also have the daily right here, but that one looks like we're in some conflict. That's the daily. We're going to go to the 2-day. Nope, there it is. 2 up, red. I was confused by those, so let's take those out. 2 up, red. And I want to show you guys something real quick. You're always asking me, you know, how am I watching so many plays at once? Guys, all you need to do, okay, we're looking for this. Let's say we're looking at a 2-week swing play, okay, and this is our trigger here at 27.75, okay? Pick a spot, add an alert, okay, and that's all we need to do. Okay, we're going to just go make this Uber regular, okay, crossing down. Okay, we only want it when it's crossing down to the downside because that's where our trigger is. And we're only going to do it once, okay? And then we're going to create it. So what that does, where did it go? Add alert, 28.58. Uber regular crossing down. Oh, sorry. And then you can say notify on the app, send in an email, show it as a pop-up, or more actions. Okay, there's more here. Play sound, send email to SMS, that's text message. And then we're just going to create it. Okay, and it should show up here. It's not. I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, well, let's try on the next one, okay? So we'll move on from Uber. Let's go to WFC. Okay, so WFC has a 2 up red. We're looking for puts on this thing at 43.94. And again, let me try this again. We're going to click, right click. We're going to add alert. And WFC regular crossing down. Only once. There it is. Okay, so there we've got it now. There's the dotted line in there. So once this is trending down and it passes, like let's say we open up here, okay? Let's say we open at 44.57, just as an example. Okay, and we trend through that line, you're going to get an alert and you can say, Wells Fargo is close to triggering. I got to start watching it. And that's all I do, guys. Just set your alerts like that. Walmart, again, 2 up, finish red. Puts at 131.51. XEL, 2 up, red, shooter candle, inverse hammer. Okay, puts 74.91. These ones are a little hard to do because if we're opening close, then it's a really tight area to put a alert in. So here's an interesting one. I'm going to talk about this probably forever because Cyberdog says he doesn't trade double inside bars. And again, people are always running up on him and just breaking him down, telling him he's basically not smart for not trading double inside bars or inside bars. But that's not what he's saying. He just, again, I will always say this, it's his opinion, it's his rules, and he is an expert in his opinion, just like you are an expert in yours, and I am an expert in my own opinion. Okay? All he's saying is if the day is within here, until we break out of this week, he's not trading it. He doesn't trade inside months. It's just not something he does. But what he's saying is if this breaks out to the high side, okay, he'll play that. He'll play it. But he needs it to break outside. He needs it to trigger. Okay, he needs it to be an actionable signal and go into force. So once this breaks, he can play it. Once this breaks to this side, he can play it. Okay, so on Facebook, we're showing on the 2-day a 2 down. Okay, we go to the 2-day, 2 up, finish red, shooter candle, inverse hammer. We're looking for a break to the downside. Guys, if we trigger on this thing, if we trigger on the 2 down here, we are triggering on the 2 week. It's almost, I don't want to say it's inevitable, but it's likely going to happen. Okay? And that's what the candlesticks are telling us. If we break down on a 2-day, we're going to break down to the downside on the 2-week on Facebook. And I saved this one for last just because it was a double inside bar. And I love the double inside bars. Double consolidation. The last time we had a double inside bar, right here, the Griswold Strat gives you these lines, gives you these highlights, so you can go back and easily find it. And we triggered, and we hit targets, okay? Or just shy at least. It was pretty close. The other thing I saw, I want to say it was Addicts Trades. He said if you've got a double inside bar, you want to sit in this thing for 2 weeks. Look at this. Okay, double inside bar. So 4 weeks is what he's saying, but so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, boom. You would have made a killing if you would have followed that rule, followed that strategy. Okay, so again, I will say by 3 weeks out, by 4 weeks out, one of those two, and that's how you would play Facebook 2 week, any 2 week setup. Okay, I would get 3 to 4 weeks out as my expiry. And then for a strike price, again, if we're looking at this thing, we're triggering at 161.67. I'm taking my target at 157, 158, something like that. That's where I'm taking my strike price at. Okay, so that's the list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Subscribe down below. Make sure you're commenting and liking the videos. It helps the algorithms. It helps to get this out to more and more people. That's what our goal is, to get this out to as many people as we can, to create confident, profitable traders. That's all I want for you guys. Green, profitable, consistent, happy traders. So good luck trading next week, guys, starting Monday. I wish you guys all the best. I wish you guys green. Follow on Twitter, subscribe down below, and get in on that Discord and get that Griswold Strat indicator, an all-in-one stop shop for you guys. Okay, good luck, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.